How's it going, Jordan? You right?
All good, thank you, mate. How are you?
I'm all good. I'm all good. So you fought behind closed doors. Now this will be your second time. I just want to know. Now you've been there, has it affected you? Did it take longer to warm up? What is it actually like? Because a lot of boxers are quick to say, it doesn't affect them, and fighting without a crowd, they don't usually notice the crowd. But could you say it did affect you? Maybe warming up. I'm just saying from a personal opinion.
No, I always think when you do something for the first time, you don't really think about it. It's because you don't know what to expect. So I didn't really know what to expect against Pelosi. I didn't know how I'd react. I just thought obviously I'd take it as it comes, and I did, and it didn't really affect me. And I think the biggest thing for me was when I won. Usually, you celebrate to the crowd, or people are patting your back, and you're jumping in for pictures and stuff. And that wasn't there, so that was probably it. Was like, oh, just finished the sparring session, so got out of the ring, no problem. So, and then in the fight, you don't really hear the crowd. There's no crowd noise, so if you land a good shot and there's no reaction like from the crowd, then sort of stops you from following up with a bigger attack. But in a way that in that fight, that was probably exactly what I needed, because I just needed to land, a couple of shots and keep it moving.
And that was the first fight card at Fight Camp as well. So could you hear the commentary team as well? What was that like? Was that a bit different?
To be honest, I couldn't hear the commentary team at all, and I'm glad I couldn't. So I could just focus on the boxing and doing what I wanted to do, what I needed to do. It was hard enough hearing Dave in the corner because he had the visor and the mask and stuff. I was struggling to hear at times.
And lastly, I've spoken to Fuad, who's sort of managing the esports boxing club game, and I know the Coldwell gym's in there. Are you added into the game?
I am, yeah. I'll be there. I'll be in the game. It was weird when we went in. They got all these cameras looking at you, and you have to do different poses and stuff. It's something like I've never done before. Personally, I'm not a big gamer, so I don't know much about it. I never really had a PlayStation growing up or anything. All my friends are big gamers, but I was always, never really into it. So it's going to be interesting to see how good it is when it comes out. And from what I'm hearing, it's gonna be very, very good.
Nice one, mate. Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. If you go to Jonathan from Pro Boxing Fans, please.
Hey, Jordan. How's it going?
All good, thank you, mate.
Good. You put in a really impressive performance against Reece Bellotti last time out, especially after quite a long period out. What do you put that down to, other than your new bonnet?
Well, there's no other reason for it. I think it's the hair. Just the hair's made me into a different fighter. No, I think we've had a long time. I had a long time out before that. The last time you saw me in a competitive fight was when I lost to Tinoco, and obviously things weren't right on the night, but no excuses. I made a lot of mistakes in there. So, ever since that day, I think I had 2 weeks off the gym. I got back in the gym, even though I had a broken hand. Ever since that day, I've been working to progress and tighten up my game in a lot of different areas. And in the Bellotti fight, you saw shades of that. I answered all the questions that was asking me. I think, I scored it 9-1 to me. I think I gave Bellotti the 4th round. So that's, a dominant victory for me. And I was in the ring being able to practice what we've been working on in the gym. And, it was a good learning fight and a good experience for me.
Since the period that's lapsed in between, what have you been working on with Dave in the gym?
A lot of different things. Getting tighter inside, working different angles. I've been, modifying my jab a little bit, more punch variation, footwork, mentality of when to go and when not to go. Managing certain moments and certain certain spots in hard fights, because we know these hard fights are going to come thick and fast now, and you know, we've got to be ready and relishing the challenge. And I think Saturday night you're going to see a lot of improvements. What we've been working on in the gym. Don't want to give the game away, but I think you'll see a lot more of me on Saturday than you did against Reece Bellotti. You know, I boxed to orders in that fight and controlled it, and didn't have to really step it up at all. So this Saturday, I think I will, and I think more questions are going to be asked of me.
Your opponent on Saturday nights competed at world level, albeit at, you know, lower weight class. Do you think your size advantage is the key factor in this fight, or do you think, you know, him being, we believe, having Mexican style, that your style will be more beneficial to sort of counteracting what he's going to do?
I don't think size plays a part in it, personally. Usually when people are bigger, stronger guys, or been at the weight for longer, then they'll look to walk people down and use their size as an advantage. But you know, that's not my game. My game is boxing. So when it comes down to it, it's going to be who's got the better IQ, who manages the distance better. And the thing about these Mexicans, especially this one, if you watch him, you'll notice he's actually got very long arms. So he's probably got longer arms than me. So when he's talking about managing distance and being a bigger man, sometimes it can throw you off balance if you're expecting to be the bigger man, and then this guy comes out with really long arms and he's finding you when you don't expect it. So I think it's going to be an interesting fight. He has boxed at world level. Okay, it was weight below. But it's £4 at the end of the day. You could do £4 in the toilet every morning, couldn't you?
Just finally, where does a win over him put you in your career?
I think it elevates me to another level. I think on paper, in reality, this is the best guy that I've boxed. This is for the WBA international title. So it gives me a good ranking with one of the governing bodies, and I think that opens doors up. There's a lot of good featherweights, a lot of brilliant names in the division, and having a title and being well ranked will be beneficial for my career and put me in the mix.
Appreciate it, Jordan. All the best.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jonathan. If we go to Ames from Boxing News TV next.
Ames here for Boxing News TV. It's a pleasure to speak to you, Jordan. How are you doing?
I'm good, mate. Thank you.
Good to hear. So I just want to know, do you feel, you know, coming back, you know, looking back at that fight with Tinoco and how that ended, do you feel like your career is finally back on track now? You had the win over Talavera, Reece Bellotti, and now you're facing Cesar Juarez. Do you think it's back on track now?
I think after Saturday night, I feel like I'll be in the position that I would have been if I'd have beat Tinoco. And, you know, that's a long time since that fight. I think, you know, beating Tinoco would have put me in line for a European, you know, some sort of eliminator for a belt, because it was for the WBA International. So beating this guy, Cesar Juarez, it gets me that title back, gets me that ranking back. It puts me in the same position to push on for these big fights. And I'm pleased because Cesar Juarez is another level to Tinoco. So people that down, you know, I stated from that fight, from the off, I wanted the rematch. I wanted to prove myself and what went on. But for one reason or another, it never happened. Now I have opportunity to fight another Mexican, a better Mexican, somebody that's from the same team as Tinoco, who's boxed at a higher level with the same belt. So I'll be in a better position than if I beat Tinoco that night.
You mentioned about doubts and people, you know, doubting you. Do you still feel that people have those doubts about you, and you want to dispel that with that win over Juarez?
I don't care. I don't care about dispelling that. I don't really care about what people think about me anymore, because, you know, you can't please everybody. And if I went on to become unified world champion, People still have doubts about me because, you know, nothing is ever enough. There was people that had doubts about Josh Warrington going into last weekend, obviously rightly so, but you know, he was Ring Magazine world #1 and he was being doubted. So, you know, you can never win in my eyes. The people that I aim to please is 1, myself, 2, Dave Colwell, my coach, and my family as well.
Yeah, I didn't realize that the fight was for the WBA International. Is that the route you're looking to go down now with the WBA, or would you still be open to European? What's the plan here?
I'm easy. Beggars can't be choosers, as they say. You know, I fight who they tell me to fight for what they tell me to fight. But yeah, that's a great route. Kanzu's a champion. He's a good champion, and if they come on to us next week for a fight after this weekend and I win, then I'll grab it with both hands and grab that opportunity. But at the same time, if the shot for the European comes up, I know Gavin McDonald's fighting for it in March, and you know, I wish him the best of luck. I wouldn't really want to fight Gav for it because we train together and he's a nice guy. He's one of my friends. Yeah. But you know, at the end of the day, we're not related. I haven't lived with him like one of my best friends, Lee Wood. So if that fight come up for the European title, then I'd take that with both hands as well. So there's options there.
Off the back of that, of the Josh Warrington defeat, you know, a lot of people had him consensus #1. Has your mind changed as to who's #1 in the division?
No, not really. I always thought Gary Russell #1. I look for skill and what somebody can do in the boxing ring. And so for me, Gary Russell's #1. But career-wise, the person with the best wins in the best fashion is Josh Warrington, or was Josh Warrington. So Gary Russell, he's not been active enough. He boxes once a year. You know, it's not really good enough at that level, and you want to see him more active because he's got the skills and he's got the power, he's got everything in abundance. So yeah, there's them guys. There's Kanzu, who they're calling the monster. He's a very good fighter as well. And Navarrete has just gone up to featherweight as well and won a WBO title. So there's a lot of champions there. And then obviously we've got our own Jazza Dickens and Kid Galahad fighting for the IBF. So you know, the division is interesting, and it's gonna spice up over the next 8 to 12 months.
Final question for you. Off of the back of the win over Reece Bellotti, I saw the GIFs and the little clips of you and your flashy movement in the ring. Are you looking forward to putting more of that on and seeing those GIFs made of you on social media?
That weren't flashy. That was avoid getting hit at all costs. I was spinning and turning and ducking and diving. So yeah, I don't care about GIFs or anything like that. But if people enjoy what they see, then I'll be happy, because at the end of the day, this is entertainment business. And if I manage to pull off a move that's good enough to make into a GIF, then I'll be a happy man.
All the best at the weekend, Jordan. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
And James, go to Steve from Boxing UK, please.
Hi, Jordan. It's Steve from Boxing UK.
Hello, mate.
Hiya, mate. Jordan, not just the Tinoco fight, but since then, you've had an awful lot of problems, haven't you? Your health-wise and what have you. Now that you've had 2 camps and 2 fights, do you feel that you're back as a fighter rather than trying to battle the problems elsewhere?
Yeah, it's been a right kick in the teeth, isn't it? But what can you do? You can only control what you can control. And, you know, these things I didn't have control over. So, yeah, I feel like I'm not just back. I feel like I'm better than ever. So I'm really looking forward to fighting now. I feel like I've improved since the Bellotti fight. I feel like I've gone up another level. That experience has brought me on again. And I think the lessons that I take from this fight Saturday will bring me on to another level after that as well. So, you know, I'm looking to take things. I think there's something to learn at every level. And I'm looking to use this fight to learn and push on. But yeah, I feel like those dark times are behind us. And I'm looking forward to a busy and successful 2021.
Good man. this guy on Saturday has got 25 wins and 19 knockouts. So you could see he's a dangerous Mexican, exactly like what we were describing the guy Josh Warrington fought at the weekend. Has what happened on Saturday sharpened the focus, Jordan?
Yeah, I think so. I wasn't ever looking at this guy and thinking he's not a threat, because he's a massive threat. Like I said, he's got 19 knockouts out of 25 wins. He is a big puncher, and I'll have to be sharp to beat him. So watching that at the weekend has sort of sharpened me up and made me understand that, you know, you can't ever take anything for granted. I think, you know, the whole fight week, you see little clips put out from Matchroom and Sky Sports, and you look at Josh Warrington, he looks so relaxed. It was almost like it was a foregone conclusion, and you can't do that in boxing. I've learned that a hard way, and you can't do that, especially against these tough Mexicans. These Mexicans are a different level. They're different gravy. They don't fight like we fight. They aim for power in every shot. Their punch delivery is completely different to British and European fighters, and they tough as old boots, and they want to hurt you with every shot.
Last one from us, Jordan. Should you get through Saturday, if you could map out the perfect 2021, what would you ask for?
Oof. I'm not looking past Cesar Juarez. I understand the level of threat he poses to me. When I win on Saturday, I will be doing a few name drops in the ring when I get interviewed. So yeah, whatever comes, I'm happy. I want the big fights. Gavin McDonald's fighting for the European title. See what happens with that. I understand that they're in talks with Joshua and Fury to fight, and Isaac Lowe always fights on the undercard, so that's an easy fight to make. If he fancies fighting anybody with a pulse this time, if Eddie's got options on Lara, which I believe he has, and Warrington don't fancy the rematch, then I'm here. I'm ready.
Good man. Look forward to those name drops, Jordan. Good luck on Saturday, mate.
Yeah, man.
Take care.